Every year since 1989, the Library of Congress has selected 25 films to add to the National Film Registry. The criteria? The films must be culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant.
Each week on You're Missing Out, we take a look at one of these films to try and get to the heart of why they were selected and why they still matter.
This week, Patrick Cotnoir returns to the show for The Godfather Part II.
Our guest today is producer and co-host of the George Lucas Talk Show, host of Hey That's Me, a commentary podcast, producer of way too many other things, needs to lose like 30 to 35 pounds probably. It's Patrick Cotnoir.
Oh my goodness, that was so rude of you. Why would you even say that?
Well, because, Patrick, we've been doing this for 5 years now. We've all been doing this dance for 5 years. By now, anybody that's been listening to this long knows that you tell me what to say. They should know what this bit is. They should know what these are. In fact, I can tell you how many people know. This is a true thing. I have not told you yet. Earlier today, my fiance and I were out doing errands. And she goes, "Oh, you're recording a show tonight?" I said, "Yeah." She goes, "Oh, I saw you were watching Godfather Part II." And I went, "Well, yes, but I also have to watch an Ewok movie." And she initially, like, this is exactly the rhythm she said it. And she goes, "Oh, why would you be watching?" "Oh, Cotnoir." With this just sound.
That's so funny.
This woman has met you for 2 minutes, maybe.
I was gonna ask, when did we meet? If we had met. That's so funny.
I was genuinely taken aback at the way she just goes, "Oh, Cotnoir."
Oh God. What a nightmare life I've built for myself.
Well, I had almost a similar response of just thinking, like, normally I'd be like, oh, an almost 3-hour movie, this is going to be hard, even though I've seen it before, like the crunch time into it. But then I'm just like, but it's a Cotnoir episode, so I got to watch the fucking first Ewoks movie. So
wait, the first Ewoks movie?
Yeah.
Oh boy. Well, we might have to talk about this later.
Yep.
I'm sorry. I'm going to pull back.
Had a feeling this was going to happen.
I'm going to pull back the curtain a bit for everyone because I don't know if he's being serious or not, but Patrick and I both thought we were watching Battle for Endor for this initially. I was texting Patrick about, it's Battle for Endor, screenshotted that to show to Tom, who then went, "No, it's Caravan of Courage. It's Caravan of Courage. I checked the last episode. That's what we're doing." He was mad at us for forgetting.
I said specifically, it's the first one. Battle for Endor is the one with that little fucker Teak in it.
So for anyone who doesn't know, this is a thing. When we started this show more than 5 years ago, Tom and I were like, this isn't going to be a comedy podcast. We don't want to be funny. We don't want to do bits. But once a season, we basically just kind of let Patrick derail our show. I don't know exactly how this happened. I've said before, the bug main of our podcast, if there is one.
I love it. Skittle Scattle.
Yeah. And, if for anybody, I don't know, Patrick, if you're following the podcast, the right Patreon, bug main, big controversy there. So let's see if similar things happen here.
Did he come back for the Patreon? I'm not following the Patreon.
Oh my god. No, there's a whole to do. Half the fans want him there. Half the fans that don't. They're revolting.
Sure.
They're very upset.
Sure.
I
went to a Bugmain live show a few months ago.
Did you really?
Yeah, it was
How was it?
It was a nightmare experience. We left. I went with my girlfriend and we left, and she goes, "I kind of liked it." And I was like, "Oh no, oh no, this is a mess. This is a problem."
Listen, who doesn't get down to Cocapelli from time to time is my question. But before we get into, let me just say we've been doing this for 5 years now. And I said this to you, Patrick, via DM, but I'll say it now. Everybody who has shown up for their 5th episode here has made a 5-timers club joke and has said, "Where's my robe? Where's my smoking jacket? Where's all of that?" You, Patrick, are the only person who can't ask that because you are the only person we've had on the show for whom I have purchased an unnecessarily expensive robe.
Yeah. I mean, you should just tell them what it is because it's crazy.
So a while back, years and years ago, Patrick tweeted out they were doing the estate auction for the late Robert Evans, producer of The Godfather and The Godfather Part II.
Oh, that's true. Oh, wow. This is weirdly weirdly, it all fits.
So they were doing the estate auction for the late Robert Evans. This that had come up on our show before because when Patrick Willems was on to discuss The Godfather Part 1, I had said the only piece of Robert Evans' ephemera that I would want to own is anything related to his failed Comedy Central show Kid Notorious. Patrick Cotnoir tweeted out that the auction was happening, particularly highlighting a terry cloth bathrobe formerly owned by Robert Evans with at least one stain on it, if I recall. And he tweeted it out saying, who would want to own this? I knew I would be moderating a George Lucas talk show panel a couple months from then, and I said, I have to.
Yeah.
I have to. And what I did is I said, I'm going to set a limit on the maximum amount that I am going to be willing to bid on this robe. Thinking nobody else would bid anyway, but I'm like, if it goes above this number, it's no longer worth doing.
Sure.
And then it went above that number. And I kept bidding.
Oh, no.
And in honor of 5 years, Patrick, I'd like you to know that robe cost me $130.
Oh, my God.
Honestly, not as bad as I thought it was going to be. You were making it sound like you were like, oh, I almost maxed out a credit card.
Sure, but let's also be clear. This is a plain white bathrobe.
Oh, no, it's still incredibly stupid, but at least it's not like life-wreckingly
sure
expensive.
Tom, before we talk about life-wreckingly expensive, let's note this is not the only thing I bought from the Robert Evans estate. They did have a photograph he hung in his home from the premiere of Comedy Central's Kid Notorious, which I now own.
That's amazing.
I also bought 2 of his neckties, one of which now belongs to past guest of the show, Patrick Willems. And I also own one of his turtlenecks, specifically the one he wore to the premiere of Spider-Man 2. So...
Look, estate sales and sales of dead people's belongings are real dangerous for me. I'm currently went up today the David Lynch one.
Oh, really?
There's a David Lynch one on Julian's Auctions right now.
Ooh.
And I am multiple hundreds of dollars deep on some things that I'm not even going to say what it is because I don't want it to be jinxed.
I think I'm not
do
to
they
take
have,
a look at that. I would
do
like
they
a nice
have David Lynch's
filled
terry
with...
cloth robe?
I don't think they have a robe. The thing I really want, and I think I've already been outbid past my number, is they have one of his trumpets. And in the description, it says, potentially the one used in his Ice Bucket Challenge video. And I'm like, man, that might be the one thing that I need to buy from this. But I think it's already past $250. And I've said that's too much. They have the giant framed atomic bomb explosion picture from Gordon Cole's office from Twin Peaks The Return. And it is like 7 feet by 7 feet. And I think it's already past $3,500. And I said,
that one. Yeah.
If I had the space in my apartment, no question, I would go for it. But I don't have any walls left.
Yeah, trust me, I got that one.
Because I already have a 7-foot-tall poster for the Ewok Adventure Caravan of Courage.
Which maybe is the movie we're talking about today. Maybe.
We'll find out.
Who knows? But yes, this is your 5th appearance on the show. You first came on for Star Wars.
Yeah.
And then it became this recurring bit that is Tom's fault, actually, which is why it's so funny that he hates this.
Tell me more.
I love, Patrick, that I get to remind you of this every time.
Every single time.
We were closing out Star Wars, and you said, oh, man, we didn't even get to talk about Jedi power battles. And Tom, big mistake, went, next time, buddy. Next time. You said you were going to hold us to it, so we made you a deal. If you came back on for How Green Was My Valley.
Oh, God, I forgot we even did that one. I forgot that was even... Oh,
we could also talk about Jedi power battles for half the episode.
Yeah.
Since then, it's been this thing where you are one of the only people that gets to pick a movie in advance.
Yeah.
And when we do it, you get to pick a piece of Star Wars ephemera that we pair with that movie. This has been video games in the past.
Mm-hmm.
But this has also been, last time, was discussing the second Ewok movie.
Yeah.
And you, if I remember correctly, were going to pick something totally unrelated.
Mm-hmm.
And Tom threw such a fit about how miserable he was watching the second Ewok movie that you said to us on mic, well, I wasn't gonna pick the first Ewok movie, but now I feel like I have to.
Throwing in a curveball.
Which, if I recall correctly, we also last year thought Battle for Endor was the first one.
Yep.
So this little TV series that we've been covering the last 2 years has been giving us the fits in terms of chronology, even though we've already done this last year and immediately forgot again.
Yeah, this is...
We'll see which one I watched.
One of my favorite recurring segments of every Patrick Cotnoir episode is every one ends with Patrick announcing grand plans for what he's going to do next time. And every episode starts with Patrick admitting he completely forgot everything he said he was going to do until about 2 days before.
Yeah. You guys emailed me a few weeks ago, and I forgot even from the time when you emailed me until yesterday.
Yeah. I was sitting down to watch Lilo and Stitch at the local AMC, and I just get a Twitter DM from Patrick going, this movie's so goddamn long.
Yeah. And that was like 2 hours into it. I think it was just at the point where I was like, oh, I still have 90 minutes of this movie.
Yep. You got moved to disc 2.
Yes.
But right before we dive into Godfather Part 2 and all of that, I do want to talk about one other thing. And I'm going to take credit for this, quite frankly.
Okay.
I'm going to take credit for this.
Bold.
Remember, Patrick, I mentioned giving you that terry cloth robe.
Yeah, I remember. I remember you mentioning it, and I remember it happening.
Well, at that same panel, when I was introducing you and Griffin and Connor, I introduced Griffin and I said, he's Watto and also one of the hosts of the successful podcast Blank Check. And then I introduced Connor saying George Lucas and the host of the successful podcast Dead Eyes. And then I said, Patrick, when the hell are you going to get yourself a podcast?
Sure.
And something about me saying that must have just
fire in my belly.
Latched onto you, because now you have a very good podcast.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It's a podcast. It's called Hey That's Me, a commentary podcast, and it's me and Brian Lynch, screenwriter Brian Lynch, who wrote Secret Life of Pets, and he wrote Minions, and he wrote a whole bunch of movies that your kids love. And we do commentaries on movies and TV shows every week with people from those movies and TV shows who never got to do commentaries on them. So it's a lot of actors and directors and writers and composers and costume designers and truly whoever we can get our hands on that we find interesting. And it's been a ton of fun. We've done like, I don't know, 20 episodes probably so far, something like that. And I've got like 20 more in the bank that aren't out yet. And it's been a lot of fun. It's been a really cool way to just meet people whose names we've seen in credits for years, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm so happy that I'm doing it. And people can listen to it anywhere they get podcasts. We've got a Patreon. We've got, patreon.com/commentary. You can join at different levels, and there's a whole bunch of stuff you can get if you sign up, but also it's free on any podcast platform and YouTube and, wherever. Hey, That's Me, a commentary podcast.
Well, just know if you ever run out of people and you're like, we need someone to do commentary on one scene from Troma's Return to Nukem High Volume 2.
Oh, wow.
Or on camera, a single episode of Kevin Smith's AMC show Comic Book Men.
Of course.
You know
what
who
did
to
you
call.
do in Comic Book Men? Because I believe I watched every episode of Comic Book Men.
So then you might remember a guy who came in and sold... If you watched every episode, this one you'd remember because I sold Star Wars ships.
Oh, interesting.
I showed up at the shop and I sold Star Wars ships, 3 Star Wars ships, to pay for a plane ticket so I could introduce my then girlfriend to my parents.
Oh, wow.
Pull back the curtain here. Walt Flanagan did not want to give me that money. And the producers were like, this is a nice, sweet story, so give him the money.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, because they asked me to bring a bunch of stuff to potentially sell, and we also brought this statue of the Flash of Two Worlds.
Mm-hmm.
And the producers were like, we want this statue on the show, but you're already here. and then turned to the person who drove me there, my father,
Oh my god.
and went, "Listen, we understand.
Oh my god.
You probably are a little confused, but can we get you to sign a release form and mic you up in like 10 minutes and go do this thing?" So my dad is also on the show in a different episode.
That rules, though. That's so fun.
So go back through the archives. And
how much money did you get from them?
It was $500.
Okay. It's not nothing.
No, for those ships, it was not. You did not need to pay me $500 for Queen Amidala's starship. Like, that's not. You can get that a lot cheaper than that, man.
Sure.
But anyway.
That's great. I love that.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, Kyle, I think, found a YouTube link to the episode post in the chat. We will deal with that later.
I will watch it while you guys talk about The Godfather.
Oh, boy. So, in any event, all of that build-up, all that preamble, all of those plugs.
You got a lot of chest showing in this.
I was very warm that day. It was really hot in Red Bank, New Jersey. It's also really hot in here right now.
Mike, you're doing a commentary on this right now. This is perfect.
You're just going to take it out, plug it into the show. It'll be your least listened to episode you've ever done. Absolutely. Also, because realistically, if you wanted someone to do commentary on Kevin Smith's Comic Book Men, I know you can just call Kevin Smith.
Probably just get Kevin, yeah.
You have his contact.
Also, Brian's in Chasing Amy. This is pretty easy.
It's
pretty easy to make this happen. That's so funny.
Good grief, you are young in this, Mike.
I know. I was
When
young.
was this again?
This was like right after college, Tom.
Well, it definitely looks like right after college. But
yeah.
I can't even. That's that long ago. Holy shit.
That's
wow.
Great. I love that.
Somebody has, at least one person has clicked this not knowing our show. Like, I love Godfather Part II. And they must be thrilled right now. Let's talk Godfather 2. I do think
they must have been through 1,000 other podcasts on the Godfather 2 to get to this episode specifically. I don't listen to anything else from these guys, but they did the Godfather 2, and I'm not Godfather 2'd out. Oh no!
I do think it's interesting, Patrick. Again, the first episode you came on here for was Star Wars.
Yeah. Heard of it?
Now, in our 5-year mark, you're here for the Godfather Part 2. I think that's interesting because I do believe Godfather and Star Wars are the two most debated franchises of the is the sequel better than the original?
Mm-hmm.
I think undeniably, like, there are other franchises where people say, oh, Part 2 is better. But I think these are the two where it is constantly debated and no one can agree.
This might be a hot take. I think my answer to both of them is no.
I am on the same page as you.
Yeah. I mean, they're both obviously great movies, but I would rather watch the first one for both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Tom,
I mean, yeah, I probably watched the first one over this one also, but it really just depends on my mood on the day. Oh, I like two more. I like one more. Whatever. I mean, they're both on the same level. Honestly, it's kind of like not even a fun debate because it's just like, oh, we're fighting over 2 10 out of 10s. Oh no, like it's like what's really the argument here? It's but yeah, no, I with the Star Wars one, Empire Strike Back all the way. I'd rather watch that one over A New Hope any day of the week.
Interesting.
Oh, see, I'm a New Hope guy.
Me too.
Always have been. But I do think this is, it is that thing in a way of. I mean, listen, George will tell you he planned the whole trilogy out from the beginning, and you find yourself going, "No, you didn't do that."
George.
Whereas,
absolutely not.
Whereas this is one where Coppola will just full out admit, not only did I not plan for a part 2, I had no desire to do a part 2. They basically put a gun to my head to do a part 2.
Weirdly, he always wanted to do part 3, though.
Which is odd, because he also claims now, he's like, oh, no, it was never a part 3. It's the coda.
Yeah.
It's the coda of my...
It's like, Francis, you crazy guinea bastard, I love you, but also shut the fuck up. Yeah, he wanted to make Godfather 3 just so he could watch his daughter not act next to Andy Garcia.
Oh boy!
I just saw Andy Garcia. Guys,
did you?
I just saw Andy Garcia.
Like, where?
In person. We went to, also related to Star Wars, we went to a Rick Baker art show. Makeup artist Rick Baker's doing trying to sell some paintings that he has done. And at the opening, Andy Garcia was there.
Huh.
Yeah. And also Ray Romano. And also the entire Landis family.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's like a mixed bag.
It was. It was a mixed bag.
And here's what I'm just going to say, without getting into specifics. We're a movie podcast that's sometimes discussed on Reddit, so let's not talk about John Landis anymore. Let's just, no one here, nobody talk about him anymore.
Let's just cut the head off of this conversation right now.
Let's just.
Look, I mostly just wanted to talk about Max.
Oh, everyone's favorite screenwriter, Max Landis.
I have to say, what I really appreciate is, Patrick, you just said a sentence that's never been uttered before by anyone. Before we talk
Except
about
David Zaslav when they were trying to rename the app again.
Oh, the amount of money they got to sit around and decide to go to HBO Max.
Before we talk any more about The Godfather, Godfather Part II, let's just get this out of the way because this is going to go off the rails in so many ways. Before we say what we thought about The Godfather
Part... It's on the rails?
Before we say any more about what we thought about The Godfather Part II, let's hear what the Library of Congress had to say. Here's what the National Film Registry had to say about The Godfather Part II.
The Godfather Part II. Both sequel and prequel to The Godfather, Part 2 fleshes out the backstory of the Corleone origins in Sicily, with Robert De Niro portraying a young Don Vito, then moves forward as Don Michael, Al Pacino, wrestles with the changing identity of organized crime in the second half of the 20th century. As he realizes that allies are trying to kill him, the increasingly paranoid Michael also discovers that his ambition has crippled his marriage and turned his brother Fredo, John Cazale, against him. Critics and viewers often suggest that Godfather Part II is one of the few examples in American film history where the sequel is as good or better than the original.
So that's what the Library of Congress had to say.
Who the hell
was
that?
Godfather Part II.
He had a costume switch in the middle of the show.
For anybody listening to the audio, I sweat through the shirt I was wearing. I was wearing a full suit. And spoilers, there was going to be a costume change partway through this episode. When we covered the second part of this episode on an Ewok film, I was going to do a full First Order uniform. I have it ready to go.
You're still gonna.
And I'm...
No, you're still gonna.
Okay, I will just say this one last thing, Patrick, about the First Order uniform. So again, when we went to Disneyland, we went to Galaxy's Edge, I was eyeing up the First Order uniform because it just looked cool. They have a First Order uniform we could buy, like the jacket, the hat. I was like, it's so expensive. And my now fiance said to me, I will buy it for you. I will buy it for you, but you have to wear it in the park so like you can really get the whole experience. Like, hell yeah. So we buy this First Order uniform. They don't have mirrors in the shop, but it's right near where they have like the First Order ship.
Yeah.
And we walk out, and one of like the professional photographers they have there, right? Like doing like what they call the photo pass things.
Sure.
They were like, oh my God, do you want to take pictures in front of the ship in your uniform? And I went, yeah, I do. This is going to rule.
Mm-hmm.
If you're an audio only listener, one thing I want to note is I am very blonde.
Mm-hmm.
I have very blue eyes, pale with a bit of a, despite being Italian, a bit of a very Germanic, doughy face.
Mm-hmm.
So God bless the PhotoPass person was giving me a bunch of poses to do. Fold your arms, hold your fists like this, all of that. And then we got the pictures, and both of us, my fiance and I, both went, we can't show these to anyone. We just can't. Mm-hmm. They came out. The subtext of the First Order became text.
Yeah.
With those pictures.
And yet, you still own the Space Nazi outfit. So,
and you're going to be wearing it for the second half of this episode.
I'm not doing that. I'm so hot. Oh boy. So, The Godfather Part 2.
Yeah, it's a movie that came
is
out,
indeed.
and
Well, we were
what else
starting
is there to say of it?
It is a tricky thing in a way. We were talking about this before we started recording, where Patrick oftentimes comes on for very totemic films, but that does mean we do find ourselves sitting there and going, "Well, what else is there to say?"
Yeah.
And I think that is, in a way, especially true of The Godfather Part 2, insofar as, and I mean no shade on the film. I mean this in a positive sense, but like doing The Godfather Part 2 was an insane risk, right? Coppola did not want to do it. Paramount apparently told him, like, you have the recipe for Coca-Cola, you got to make more bottles. He was so against it. He was like, I'll produce it, but I won't direct it. I'll find you a new director. There's this young guy named Marty Scorsese. He'll do it. And Paramount said, absolutely the fuck not. Which, you maybe can't totally blame them, because it seems like Francis probably showed up and was like, look, he made this short film about a guy shaving. It's about Vietnam. And they were like, you're not directing The Godfather
about his
Part
parents a lot in this one. Yeah.
You're not doing The Godfather Part 2, buddy.
What if Bertha was in front of a boxcar? He answers it.
Right. But it seems like an insane risk, right? Yeah. It seems like a doomed effort.
Well, and then sequels at the time weren't really a thing. They were the lowest form of cinema pretty much at the time. Yeah. So all signs pointed to this was a bad idea.
And I would argue, this is maybe a hot take I'm going to come in with now. I would argue that if the movie was made up entirely of the newly created present-day storyline, I think it is a bad idea. Mm-hmm. I think the movie doesn't entirely... I think the reason this movie works the way that it does is that Coppola had originally... I was listening to his commentary. He talked about, before he made Godfather Part 2, he was envisioning, I want to make a movie about a father and a son 30 years apart. I want you to see them at the same age, 30 years apart. And I think the masterstroke of this movie is that when he sits down to create Godfather Part 2, he realizes there's one part, well, technically there's two parts of the novel that we did not include in the first movie. One is about young Vito Corleone and his journey from Sicily to America and becoming a criminal and ultimately the don of this crime family. The other storyline in the novel is about how huge Sonny Corleone's penis is. Unfortunately for all of us, he did not adapt that latter arc. Do you know that, Patrick? That's legitimate.
I didn't know that.
We've way too much time talking about Sonny Corleone's gigantic dick, to the point where there's a chapter where his guma has to go to a Las Vegas doctor to get her vagina surgically repaired.
That's amazing.
We covered this
hell of a thing to read when you're 12 years old.
We covered this extensively on our Godfather Part 1 episode, and nothing delights me more than our guest, Patrick Willems, made a sound I've never heard him make before. We reveal all of this about the penis, and he just goes, what? And genuinely, sincerely, just perplexed.
Do you think that was like Khan made him do that?
No. This was in the novel.
Yeah, but in the first novel.
First novel, in the Godfather novel.
I understand.
The Vito stuff is in the novel. The young Vito time in Sicily.
Okay, got it.
Basically, if I remember correctly, the way the novel is structured, Michael Corleone shoots the guys in the restaurant, has to flee to Sicily, and then the novel cuts to flashback, young Vito Corleone in Sicily. We do young Vito in Sicily up until the point where he comes back to America. And then we revisit Michael Corleone, now in Sicily with Apollonia and everything. So that was all in the original Puzo novel.
Read the book?
Yeah.
Is it worth reading?
I would say...
Kinda.
if you love the movie,
Yeah.
right, it's worth reading in part because it's kind of like reading the Jaws novel.
Mm-hmm.
I would not say either of those are great books, but
Sure.
they really give you an appreciation of how two kind of masters of cinema were able to take tawdry dime store novels and turn them into great works of art.
Sure.
But so Coppola takes that Vito storyline, and then they come up with this original storyline to continue the Michael Corleone story. And I think both parts work. I'm not suggesting that the Michael storyline in Godfather 2 does not work, but I do think that if that was the only story that you had,
well,
then
it's not the craziest point to make because, when you watch this one, you realize how much more, as grand and epic as it is, how much more hyper focused it is, because it really is just about Michael and Vito, where the first one is like, you don't really get that Michael's going to become your protagonist. You got Sonny, you got Tom, you got Vito, then he gets gunned down, then it shrinks to the three brothers, then it really starts hyper focusing. This one, it's just kind of jumping back and forth between the two. And it's about family, but that's really what it's the interpersonal family dynamics interspersed with this criminality and the operatic nature of it all, which is a big issue again, by seeing Godfather 3 or The Coda, where there really isn't that family stuff. He's kind of having to pull out, Duvall isn't in it, so he's got to make up another character who's kind of just barely even there. Talia Shire's in it, but she's kind of not really given much to do. She's got some good stuff, but really isn't a part of the story. We got to bring in Andy Garcia as Vincent Corleone, Sonny's illegitimate son. There's no real the mirroring of the family dynamics and everything. You see by watching Godfather 3, you see how, like Mike said, it's smart because they didn't use it in the first one, using the Vito stuff to mirror the dynamics and the themes of the sort of doomed family and the doomed chase for power that Michael was on. Where in 3, you lose all of that, and it's kind of just like, okay, he's sad now.
And I would also say part of it too is it covers up. This is not me being critical of the film, but it covers up some of the stuff that shouldn't work, right? Like, Tom, you mentioned, like, Connie is in it, but she doesn't have that much to do, right? Yeah. Tom Hagen is in it, but doesn't have that much to do. Or Duvall's, was supposed to be in it, whatever. In this, I think if you don't have the Vito stuff, you notice how little Talia Shire is in this movie. If you don't have the flashbacks, you really could get stuck on, okay, so they couldn't get Clemenza back, so we're just this other guy is Clemenza now, kinda. But because, if you're in the movie and you're just in one timeline, you're just in one place, you're gonna notice, like, oh, it's been a while since we've seen Talia Shire. But you don't notice because half of your runtime is being spent, with this other cast of characters, with these other people, with this other group. It's kind of, I can't believe I'm doing this, but it's kind of like why you don't really care that the group is split up in Empire Strikes Back, because we're in two different kind of, not timelines, but we're following two different sort of narratives. You can bounce back and forth a lot more easy, and it covers up kind of what would otherwise be kind of slow.
Well, it's just...
why is Clemenza not in the movie?
He wanted a lot of money. He wanted Marlon Brando, kind of like, I'm a big superstar. I'm the reason why Godfather was a success. Give me a shit ton of money. And they were like, no.
So
bye-bye,
Coppola claims that's not entirely it. That for him, it wasn't just about the money. It was the fact that the actor who played Clemenza wanted them to hire his friend to write his dialogue, like rewrite his dialogue. And Coppola was like, absolutely not. I'm having a hard enough time managing this script and pulling it all together without having your friend, who I think in the commentary is like, who, forgive me, I don't know, can handle the material, or whatever. But he's like, having your friend write your dialogue. I think one of the things that I'm speculating here, but Godfather Part 1 was kind of a mess to make because Coppola was this young, inexperienced director who was probably felt easy to take advantage of.
Mm-hmm.
Robert Evans was always on set interfering. The studio was always interfering. Everybody got to push whatever they wanted. I'm sure Brando pushed whatever he wanted, etc. When Coppola agrees to come back, he does it on the condition, he tells Paramount, like, I don't want any Robert Evans here. I don't want any interference. I want control. And also like $1 million up front and all that. He's like, if I'm going to do this, stay the fuck away. And it seems like, to one degree or another, this is my speculation, but it seems like the actor who played Clemenza was like approaching it like it was the same pushover kid.
Sure.
You know?
Sure.
And like, well, I'm going to show up. I'm going to get mine now. This little, this little guinea bastard's going to like roll over. And Coppola was just like,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it was anything. Like it wasn't like a Marcus Chong Matrix kind of scenario. It just seems like, the actor was a little difficult and
he overplayed his hand basically.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, and it's funny because I think it's an issue in 3 not having Duvall.
Yeah.
But I think they actually make it work that it's not Clemenza in this one, because I do think it kind of plays into sort of what the whole movie's going for, and especially the Michael stuff, which is that Michael has basically pushed everyone away and is now only surrounded by people he can't trust. So now, Clemenza died in between, right before the movie starts. He's stuck with this guy who's a hothead. Not really on the same, not even close to the same level of connection to Clemenza, and he's kind of stuck with this guy. Fredo's a moron, and he's pushed him away with his ambitions and sort of superseding the older brother. He's got a bunch of henchmen that botch hits. They botched the Hyman Roth hit in the hospital, and then at the end they actually kill Hyman Roth, but then the guy just gets gunned down. He's basically surrounded by people. He's not surrounded by family anymore. He's not surrounded by people he can really put faith into, and I think that actually does work. But would have been nice to see Clemenza. I do like that without bringing attention to it in the Vito stuff, that you just see Clemenza getting fatter and fatter, eating more and more as he goes on, which I'm like, all right, that's good. That's like good prequel stuff of just like, well, he's going to get fat. Let's see him just keep eating. That's good stuff. I also think a lot of it goes to Coppola being, we don't think about it as much now because of his great directorial movies, that he was a writer. He was kind of historically like the first guy of that group, the film brats, to make it in Hollywood. He won a screenplay award for Patton. He was doing rewriting stuff, selling stuff, all that. He was a writer. So I think knowing that he had the Vito stuff in his pocket and having Mario Puzo with him to flesh this stuff out with the guy himself, they were able to look at the Vito stuff and figure out how to mirror that journey into Michael's descent, the ascent and the descent. And a thought I was honestly thinking of, because I don't know why Star Wars was in my head rewatching this movie.
That's crazy.
But it is just funny that it almost feels like Coppola got to the idea of with a sequel, like, oh, it rhymes. That very specifically, this movie's all about the rhyming of the narratives of Vito and Michael, and not just within the Vito and the Michael stuff in this, but mirroring it from the first one. And that's just right, like very writerly, screenwriting stuff. Just like everything has to have a build-up, payoff, everything has to connect, and all of this. And if Coppola wasn't a good writer, yeah, this movie probably wouldn't have had the Vito stuff and would have had to focus on new stuff. Maybe the new stuff would have been able to sustain itself on its own. Godfather 3 kind of tells us it probably wouldn't have. But you got to think a lot of it is just smart screenwriting magic, and luckily not having the Vito stuff used up in the first one.
Well, I think, you're saying the Godfather 3 example. Part of that is Coppola in the commentary talks so much about opera and the influence of various operas on him. Even the stuff about young Vito as a child, and the idea of this young boy growing up to get revenge, with his brother getting killed. He's like, well, that comes from this opera I saw as a young man. And when you watch Godfather 3, you see that he's like, I'm writing this as an opera. And you can see the parts of Godfather 2 where if he did not have the veto stuff to kind of pull him away, he would have lingered on more and made it more operatic. I think the biggest example of that, and I'm not trying to cast aspersions, but like, we are fortunate that because he had the veto stuff to do and because he couldn't make this movie 5 hours, we are fortunate that Kay is only a small part of this movie, because the way it actually plays out, with her being completely sidelined this whole movie and then having that one scene, that one great scene of, it wasn't a miscarriage, it was an abortion. I think they're looking at Godfather 3. Had he not had the veto stuff, that would have been played out a lot more and a lot longer and a lot more, to use his term, operatic, and I think it would have lost its effectiveness. I think a lot of this stuff, the movie benefits from the fact that he wants to do an operatic story, but by the nature of the bifurcated plot, has to do it in spurts instead of what we see in some of his other work, which is much more kind of languid, lingering moments.
I mean, good for Diane Keaton for getting third build.
Yeah.
I'm looking at that poster right now. Third build, I think.
Yep.
It's just wild when that kind of thing happens, where it's like, I mean, that scene is great and she's great in it, but good reps.
I mean, the crazy thing is, like, it is kind of wild to consider in a way, and we talked about this when we did Annie Hall on the show, but like, it is kind of crazy to consider. You watch Annie Hall and you go, oh God, what a star-making performance. And that movie has the energy of like, oh, a new discovery. And then you remember, like, she had 2 Godfather movies before this. That's
crazy.
Yeah. That would, like, seeing her in Annie Hall would be like if somebody turned around and watched like the Timothée Chalamet Bob Dylan movie, Complete Unknown, and just went, where'd they find this kid?
Yeah.
He's been around.
Yeah, but also, like, that is a movie that makes her a star more than these movies, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're like, oh, she's funny?
Yeah.
She's also funny? And I think that these movies, obviously, is not looking to pull that out of her, that part of her personality, So I think...
No,
But it is... I never realized that these 2 came before that movie. That's crazy.
That said, speaking of funny, Diane Keaton is not funny in this film. However... there are 2 moments in this movie. This movie doesn't have the same amount of like humor lines as the first Godfather, because "Leave the gun, take the cannoli" is one of the great comedy lines. However, I don't know how you guys feel. There is one intentionally funny moment that always gets me in this movie, and one unintentionally funny moment that does make me laugh because I've watched this a million times. And I don't know if you guys have similar experiences. The intentionally funny moment, and I think Tom will relate to me here. We have Italian families. We have big Italian families. When Pentangeli is going to the band, what's the matter with you? You can't do the tarantella. And the clarinet player starts playing "Pop Goes the Weasel," and he just starts going every time. That feels warm. The unintentionally funny part, I have to admit, I'm sorry, it's just because I've watched this like so much. Neither Tom. We normally ask like, when was the first time we saw Tom or I could not name the first time we saw this movie. I'm sure, but I've seen it so much. When Vito Corleone's mom gets shot, she flies back.
Oh, she gets fucking yeeted.
You really do forget how far back she flies when she gets shot.
She gets John Wooed across the fucking screen. It's amazing.
And like the first time, it's not like it's not a heart-wrenching moment. But there was just the part of you that's just like, I forgot it was that. I forgot she flew that far. Every time it catches you off guard.
How young do you think you were when you saw this for the first time?
I was probably 11 or 12. I was getting into movies, and, we didn't have the internet, so it was kind of a lot of like whatever was on TV and asking my parents about stuff and, watching like those A&E or whatever, like top 100 movies, top 100 scariest movie moments, whatever, and like asking my parents, like, oh, have you seen this? Have you seen that? And coming from an Italian household, my dad may not have been the biggest movie guy in the world, but he's like, I got The Godfather 1 and 2 on VHS. I'm not going to watch them with you because I get up at 4 a.m. to go to work. I'm going to fall asleep. But here, watch them on your own time. And I'm like, thanks, Dad. I'm 11.
Yeah.
So I watched them at the time, and my grandfather had an original printing of the novel. So I read that after watching the movies. And it's kind of just like an Italian family rite of passage, at least for New York Italians, where it's just like, if you haven't watched the Godfather before you've been, had your confirmation, are you really an Italian?
I mean, it's not just like my thing, and Tom and I were texting about this the other day. It's like when I have it on, I just flash back to the fact that, like, I couldn't necessarily tell you the first time I saw it. I remember I was about the same age as Tom probably when I first intentionally sat down to watch it, but it was also a case of like, and Star Wars is the same thing. Anytime they were on, my dad would just like stop and leave the TV on. And so I know you've had, with various films, Patrick, I'm sure you've had a similar experience, which is like there are certain movies that like you probably saw in fits and starts a million times as a child.
Yeah.
Because it was just like your parents had it on, and that was like before you necessarily got into movies, you kind of learned what are the classic movies because your parents had it on, and you may have been like sitting on the floor playing with your Hot Wheels or whatever, but like it was on, it was present. And that's kind of struck me, especially because I was just talking to my significant other about this recently, that like, it's funny how when you're a kid, the movies that your parents put on, and you're like, oh, these are the classic works of cinema. And then you get older and you start to go, that wasn't that old. Like, my anytime that like The Godfather's on, my father would stop and watch it. And like, sure, in 1995, that movie was more than 20 years old. So whatever. But like, I remember him doing that with Last Crusade.
Sure.
And absorbing that as like, one of the canon classics. And then kind of thinking about it later and going,
that movie basically came out when you started this podcast.
Yeah.
It's been out that long. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, that would be, I think I was texting either Tom or Kyle about this, where I'm like, that would be the equivalent of like, should I have kids the next couple of years if I was just like, oh, The Marvels is on. Like, that's not, and then my kid is going to turn around and be like, one of the classics of American cinema.
The Flurkins, beloved by Americans everywhere.
So it is strange. But so I've seen Godfather and Godfather 2, especially because I think Godfather 2, the Vito stuff in Godfather 2, I won't say in every household, but I can say at least in Italian households, really, the Vito storyline, it does take on a thing of like, you're somebody, whether it's your parents, your grandparents, somebody in your family, when the Ellis Island stuff happens, they stop you. Like, they even, no matter how little you are, like, you get to stop, and it's just like, they point to when young Vito is coming through the halls of Ellis Island, and they go, yeah, your great-grandfather did that. Yeah, your great-grandfather did. It's like, it's this little way that, because the rest of The Godfather, while it deals with like Italian culture, like it's mob shit, it's stuff that like, you
don't want them to say your great grandfather did that.
Yeah, I mean they mostly did,
sure.
But I mean really, like the part of the Italian American origin story is no, your great grandfather was not Vito Corleone, but I'll be honest, most of our great grandfathers were a mustachioed guy going, okay, so we pay him a little money, and I go take a rug out of somebody's house. Yeah, that's all. We've all got that one, But I do think like that moment, the Ellis Island stuff is really the thing that like they stop and go like, yeah, that's important. You need to see that. And I think it was important when it came out too, because this is also the start of this cultural reckoning from the baby boomers of like, oh, this is where my grandfather came from, right? You see this around this time. We've talked about it with other movies. I talked about like Fiddler on the Roof was such a big deal when it came out about like 2 years later, something like that, because that was everybody going to the theater and going, that was my grandpa. Like my grandfather, this who I only knew as like this old man who spoke English not so good. This is what he went through. And I think for people our parents' age who had these kind of immigrant grandparents or great grandparents, when they saw this movie, those not that the Godfather 1, great movie, epic, all of that, but you're intrigued, you're hooked because you want to see who betrays who. But like those early moments with young Vito fleeing the Black Hand in Sicily, and these little moments of like them going to see the show, right? Them going to see the Italian theater show and Senza Mama being performed on the stage for these immigrants. That's the stuff where everybody kind of stops and goes, all right, this is serious. Like this is really what it was. Like this is, and I think that it gives it that extra heft,
Well, it's almost kind of weird to say, but isn't it almost feels like these movies, and especially the Vito stuff in this one, really feels like the first time American movies are sort of treating Italians as like real people with real histories and not just the cartoon villains that show up in movies. This is like, as much as, yeah, there's also a weird thing with Italian families, especially in New York, where they say, oh, you don't want to be a mob guy, but every Italian family's like, oh, we love those mob movies and we love The Sopranos and we love this and they love the idea of mythologizing Italians, even if it's Italians that have done bad things. So there's, I don't know. We haven't really seen at this point a movie that sort of treats Italians with, we did The Italian, the silent movie that was trying to do that. But as you have told me with doing research into your family's history, there were still times after that silent movie where on census cards for check your race, white, black, Latino, Italian, Italians weren't sort of
well, so it wasn't Italian, to be clear, and this actually just came up recently, Patrick, for context. I texted Tom excitedly that on my great-grandfather's marriage license, he got to be listed as white. Because prior to that, on his draft card, he was not listed as white. He was listed as, I think it was tan.
Wild.
Which is not a race, but like it was
wild.
Like you can literally chart on these documents when they go from, when they do that shift.
Sure.
And in those documents, you can also see, just to bring it around a bit, there's been a whole controversy in our family of like trying to figure out what my great-great-grandfather's name was. Because my father and my grandfather's name is Victor. And they were both told that was a family name. And then I found through all kinds of research, I ended up finding the grave of my great-great-grandfather from whom the name supposedly came. And I'm there in Queens looking at this headstone and it says Vito. And we have census documents that say, some say Victor, some say Vito. And we were like, well, we're not sure, like, did it get changed at Ellis? Did it get changed by a census worker? Only in the last week, this is true, only last week have I gotten a hold of my great-grandfather's marriage license, which lists his father's full name as Vittorio, which in Italy is the analogous name for Victor, right? Vittorio would be Victor. But when he came here, Vittorio got shortened to Vito just for expedience's sake, because a lot of people, even in these immigrant neighborhoods, like Vittorio was so much to try and get people to say, and it just became Vito and then became Victor. So it's this strange thing.
Wild.
And part of the reason I bring that up too is I'm not saying this didn't happen. It's like these things didn't happen, but Godfather Part II does perpetuate a certain idea that is way less common than we think, which is the idea of name getting changed at Ellis Island. I'm not saying it didn't happen, but what I am saying is a lot of people, especially a lot of Italian people, got told stories by their grandparents and great-grandparents that, your grandfather, he had this name, but then when he went to Ellis Island, the guy at Ellis Island was just like, that's too guinea a name. Your name is this now. The name getting changed at Ellis Island, not that common in terms of like the staff just going, fuck you, Wop, I'm changing your name. Much more often, it was a case of a guy going, I want someone to know I'm here. So,
I'll say it. It didn't happen. I'll be the one to go out on the limb.
No, like it happens sometimes. But like,
are you saying Italians are liars?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Wait, no. Can I tell you my
yes,
family changing their name story?
Absolutely.
This is the story I've heard. I don't know many details about it. This is a recent family development. I would say in the last 5 to 6 years we found this.
Okay.
I don't even know if I should be telling you this story, but I'm going to tell you. Who cares? You know. My mother's maiden name. Should I say this on the air? I don't know. Now that I'm like, should I say my mother's maiden name on a podcast? Is this a problem for my banking?
We can beep it if you want.
Okay.
We're gonna beep what you say later anyway,
okay.
so that's fine.
You beep her maiden name.
Okay.
My mother's maiden name is okay.
Okay.
But when they were in Latvia before they moved here, their name was Esko. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then when they got here, their name was and we have been told that they killed someone and took their passport. That is the recent development that they have just found out while doing research for stuff. Yeah.
I want to be clear. The thing that caught me off guard is I was weirdly prepared for they killed someone.
Yeah.
It was the Don Draper element that really threw me for a loop.
Yeah. Took the passport.
Wow.
Yeah. Wild.
Jesus. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have to bleep Esco, but bleep the other name.
Okay. We'll do.
Yeah.
We'll do.
It's also very easily Googleable.
You've in fact made your mother a character on a number of shows you've done. Right. This is sort of on you at this point.
That's true. That's a good point.
But this, I don't know. I'm just saying the Ellis Island Museum. If you go there, which I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you guys have been. It is a genuinely moving experience. I think it was one of those things where my partner and I went to the Ellis Island Museum, and it's one of those things where often when I go to museums and I text Tom, here's an interesting thing I saw at the museum, his response is like, great, I'm watching basketball, leave me alone. And at a certain point, you could tell in the timbre of our conversation, I was like texting Tom pictures I saw in there, and it was just a point where I could feel in Tom's text the shift into like, shit, yeah, that kid looks like he could be my cousin. This is fucking me up a little bit.
Uh-huh.
All right, this is fucking me up. But the crazy thing is you walk into that like grand entrance there, and it looks exactly like it does in the film.
Sure.
Like it's genuinely.
Did they film it there?
I don't actually know.
I don't know either.
I mean, it's possible at that point.
Tom, look it up.
I'm on the case. Keep talking.
He just picks up his phone and he's checking Twitter. He's not. There's a ball game he's checking the score of. It's just.
No, it's fine. I got the ball game on the TV. I'm already multitasking.
But I mean, I know that like Ellis Island itself did not reopen for like public tours until I think at least the late 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Which is a crazy thing to consider.
What was it doing in the in-between time?
Decaying.
Oh, sure.
Like truly just decaying.
Yeah.
And because if you go to, because it's part of, to get there now, if you're in New York, it's a combination with the Statue of Liberty, where like you buy a ticket to both, and like a ferry will take you first to Statue of Liberty, and then it'll take you over to Ellis Island because they're right near one another.
We're pretty deep into this conversation about Ellis Island and Statue of Liberty, and I just realized that I have been there. You said, I don't even remember what you said, but you said something and I went, oh yeah, I've been there. I think it was one of the last things I did in New York before I moved.
Really?
Yeah, I believe so.
You just had to see it off?
Had to go see where Little Vito came in.
Well, one of the things I will admit, going to the museum, where they show the reopening of the Statue of Liberty and later Ellis Island, the strangest thing was seeing like a video where the dedication is being done by then President Ronald Reagan, the beacon of the Republican Party at the time, and he's going, America values the contribution of immigrants. And you're like, standing there now and going, man, that is
bring
wild.
Them back. We love them. Bring them back.
That is wild that used to be the party line for y'all.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Good old Ronnie, what a guy. Did nothing but great stuff for the country.
Remember when you and I will say about it because you haven't. I'm assuming you haven't heard it yet. We a couple weeks ago had the congressman who created the legislation for the National Film Registry on the podcast.
Oh, that rules.
And he talked about being a big movie buff and like studying at the London School of Film and loving Fred Zinnemann. And I couldn't help it. I had to ask him, like, okay, so for you personally, did it fuck with your head to one day be at your job and just go, is that the guy with Errol Flynn in the Santa Fe Trail? What is he doing here running things now?
Yeah.
I'm like, as a film buff, was that just extra insane for you?
Yeah.
Anyway, Tom, any luck on that Ellis Island thing? Or
no luck so far.
Great.
I mean, to be fair to Reagan, he probably had no idea what he was saying at that point.
It depends on when.
Well,
it
might
half
be
and
further
half.
back than we think. Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to say, here's my thing, Patrick. I'm going to say it. I'm going to go out on a limb and say, I don't like to push it too far back because then that absolves you for a lot of stuff.
Sure.
And I'm like, no, I think you should probably should be accountable for some of those things.
I'm glad we're getting into this.
Let's get into it. I was explicitly banned by my fiance from talking about Iran-Contra with this congressman because she's like, you're just going to yell about it more in our house. I don't want to hear about it anymore.
That's very funny.
She's so sick of hearing about Tip O'Neill and Oliver North. She just doesn't need to hear it.
Yeah.
Godfather Part II, one of the greatest films of all time, and we're just on
talking about Tip O'Neill. That's how it works.
Tip O'Neill, Iran-Contra.
Who's your favorite character in the movie, guys? Who's the cutest boy in the movie?
Obviously Joe Spinell.
Okay. There is a lot to get into with this.
So we're just gonna move on.
I'm getting there. I'm gonna say because my favorite character, I think, especially on recent rewatches, I shouldn't say favorite characters, and I enjoy him, but the stuff with Don Fanucci has really hit for me now because I think when I first saw it as a young person, I did not pick up on how powerless Don Fanucci really was. I think there's a lot of nuance to it in some ways. So like the first time I watched it, I just kind of took it as like Don Fanucci's running the neighborhood. And then Vito is like, I'm stronger than you. I run the neighborhood now. Right. And now I've really come to appreciate it in terms of like, ultimately, what Vito represents is just this recognition of like, you don't understand how many of these people who have power only have power because they threaten things they can never actually do, right? That they only have power because of the fear of violence that they can't actually back up in any way. And all it takes is 2 bullets and you've dismantled this guy's whole thing. Right.
Well,
I know technically 3 because he puts the gun in his mouth afterward, but he was pretty dead before that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think it's even more than that. It's really just the idea of like, if you make God bleed, just showing that he's actually human. His whole thing with give me 50 each, I'll make him take that. You realize he's testing the guy because if he's willing to take that, then it's not actually collecting money. He's just robbing people. And then De Niro follows him home and he's living in the same slums as everybody else. He may have the nice suit, but he's nobody. And it's more than it's really like, I think the whole thing with Vito's journey as compared to Michael's journey, where Michael wants power, Michael wants this, where Vito, he's like, this guy is not honorable. This guy is not even someone that I should like spit on if he's on fire. He guns him down, and it's like, okay, on to my family. Like it doesn't bother him. And you see, as much as it's a fallacy, that's not really how mafia guys really were. For the movie's sake, you go, this guy. He kind of was just doing it to try to better things for his family and do things in a sort of honorable way. And by comparing it to what Michael's going through, you realize that there really was no honorable way of living if you go through the government or, because because there's the stuff at the end where it's like, oh, I had dreams for you. I wanted him to be a governor, this, that, and the other. And you realize the governors are all crooked as shit too. They trick the one senator into thinking he killed a prostitute. They go to a fucking live sex show in Cuba. They're all just degenerate fucking freaks under the control of one of the many gangsters. They're either under Corleone control or Hyman Roth's control. And in his own weird way, Vito made a more honorable slice of life for himself than anybody else, and Michael lost track of all of that.
Well, because I think in terms of those parallels, that these films draw, it's also the fact that, like, Vito gains his power by looking out for the people being oppressed by the system.
Yeah.
And I think it's so important that the film, that in the present day stuff, takes us to Cuba. And Michael, even though he, for example, Michael being the only one who kind of recognizes, hey, we're on the side of the oppressors, not the oppressed. We're going to lose power that way. That thing he says about, I saw the guy willing to blow himself up with a grenade.
They're fighting for money. They're not. What does that tell you? They're going to win.
And that's the same thing as Vito, right? Vito showing up to Don Fiducia, and he's just, or his mother. His mother, going after Don, oh my God, Ciccio, right?
Ciccio, yeah.
Don Ciccio. I get that one messed up because there's also a guy named Chichi in the movie,
Chichi,
right?
yeah.
Where it's like, you can't, that's too much. I'm not going to be able to keep track now. That's too much.
Well, that's Italians for you.
These lousy
not like
names.
We're lucky there's not 6 Anthonys in the movie.
Oh my God. But,
Vito wouldn't have had a prostitute killed to push his own agenda the way Michael and Tom do by killing that prostitute, and which is one of the most like dark things in the movie that's kind of never really touched upon as really fucked up, is that they're just like, she doesn't have any family, nobody works here, it's like she never even existed, and you go, that's horrible. That's just distasteful.
Guys, can I go on a quick sidetrack?
Do it.
I would love to know what this sidetrack is on that segue, please.
So I am looking at the, Godfather 2 Wikipedia page, right? Mm-hmm. Looking at some of the lower build cast members.
Yeah.
I go, what is young Vito up to? What's his deal, right? Young Vito.
Wait.
This is...
which young Vito do you mean?
Oreste Baldini. I don't
not mean... Robert. I'm like, are you about to do a whole bit about, you won't believe this, he played a boxer in a movie and he got an Oscar? I'm like,
such a funnier version than what I'm doing.
I'm like, I'm sitting here going, Patrick, this is gonna be the worst.
No. This is a pretty wild bit.
Go.
First of all, 62 years old, right? Which I guess makes sense, but it is just crazy to think that kid is 62. He does a lot of voiceover work. He dubs a lot of people. One of the people that he dubs a lot is Ken Jeong, which I think is amazing. He also does the voice of King Julian in the Madagascar films.
All right. Well, if you're doing that, I'll do you one better.
Yeah.
Something I discovered.
He's also he's Shaggy in all the Scooby-Doo movies.
Oh well, there you go.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I did a deep dive as well. Okay, the actress.
Yeah.
So you remember when they go see the play, right?
Yes.
Where the guy is singing "Senza Mama" and all that, right? Yes. And then the actress, she gets a knife pulled on her and all that. Okay, that actress, went on to do 45 episodes of Dynasty.
Oh, wow.
But the more interesting thing is, she is currently married to, and has been for a long time, Thomas Dolby.
Oh, weird.
The musician.
Weird.
The bit part actress in Godfather Part II is the wife of Thomas Dolby.
Weird.
Yeah.
He also does Courage the Cowardly Dog, which of course in 2021 means when they dubbed straight out of nowhere Scooby-Doo meets Courage the Cowardly Dog, he played both Shaggy and Courage the Cowardly Dog.
At 60 something?
Mm-hmm.
That must sound miserable.
Mm-hmm. Well,
boy.
He's the Italian voice of Max in the Muppet movie. Sorry, guys. I'm so excited.
I love that.
George
I
McFly.
can't.
He's
I
Dewey
can't.
in the Scream movies. All right, I'm gonna shut up. I gotta stop looking at this.
I can't get into this on mic because it'll take too much time. But Patrick, I do have a fascinating foreign film dub recommendation for you later. Remind me to tell you. It's
well, that just feels like you're leaving everyone else out.
Okay, fine. I discovered a trilogy of animated Russian films from the writer of Madagascar. This was clearly like an English language script that then got bought by a Russian animation company and then just translated into Russian, but they don't translate any of the English language jokes into like a Russian equivalent. So there's wordplay that doesn't work. Like there's a character named Houston just so that the main character go, Houston, we have a problem. But in Russian, it doesn't make sense because it's just somebody going, Houston! And you're like, it doesn't work. Anyway, the original Russian animation, the main character is a bear named Mick, who is voiced by this gravelly voiced Russian actor.
Yeah.
And in the English language dub, it's Pauly Shore.
I've seen this. I think I've seen this trailer. I think I know exactly what you're talking about.
Of course you have.
He's Dante in Clerks.
The old Italian man?
Yeah.
Young Vito is...
Yeah.
What a career for that guy.
Yeah.
Just imagine you were in The Godfather. You were in like Godfather Part II, one of the most important films.
And now you're Rio Durant in Solo, a Star Wars story. The Jon Favreau character.
I mean, listen, if I could say I was in The Godfather 2 and spent the rest of my days just making money recording lines of dialogue, hey, that's a good life, man.
Yeah, if you get to stay home and be all of Arsenio Hall's characters in Coming to America.
Oh, I got some Italian dubs I need to watch. That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
So Kay gets an abortion.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Let's get into it. So
I wanted to think of like the heaviest shit in this movie.
We're all pro-life, right?
So anyway.
Want to be clear? No, I just want to make sure.
No.
We get this on the record.
Oh boy. No, but so this to actually take us back, for a second, talking about because we were talking about the Don Finucci thing, we were talking about all of that and the way that power dynamics play out. Another thing that this movie does well, because I think we talk about because this is half a prequel, half a sequel. None of us maybe love the prequelitis that happens now in terms of like some of the traps they fall into, especially when it comes to like we're going to subvert the narrative. Patrick, you just mentioned Solo, a Star Wars story.
Rio Durant, young.
We may be
everyone's favorite.
we may be all like that film to different degrees.
Yeah.
But one of the things it's undeniably guilty of is too often doing the you thought this, but actually this. Mm-hmm. And I think the thing that this one does so effectively is that this movie does that, but in a way that isn't in your face and you maybe don't even think about, which is how effectively it drops throughout Vito's journey into becoming a criminal and then a crime boss, how it drops the birth of all of the Corleone children. Because when you watch the first Godfather and you hear all of this talk about the Corleone crime family, it's very easy to think about it as this old established family, right? It's very easy to think about it as like, well, Vito has to pass the family down to one of his sons because it was passed down to him and it was passed down to him and it was passed down to him. And there's even lines in this movie when Pentangeli is saying like, oh, the old days of the Corleone family. And they talk about it like it was the Roman Empire. Mm-hmm. They draw that comparison. But when you watch this and you realize like Don Corleone wasn't even really did not have any real power until Michael's already born. Like these kids are already born. So it's not like the Corleone crime family really existed for that long. People always draw that comparison about like how short the Confederacy really existed, right? You always see that thing of like this lasted the longest Confederacy. That the Corleone crime family it felt to the children and to the people around the Corleone crime family, it felt like this really well-established thing. But part of what this does so well is kind of demonstrate to you how briefly this even existed.
Basically,
right?
like 25, 30 years, essentially.
Yeah.
You know, and you can kind of track the children and their personalities to the time at which they were born. You know, Sonny's the wild one, because, you know, they don't really have anything. Their life is a little chaotic, a little frayed. Fredo comes in and he's sort of the weak one, where they're struggling. They've, you know, Vito's been laid off of work. He's really feeling the pressure of living in this country where immigrants aren't really given a chance to thrive. And Michael's born right around the time when Vito, he's in his criminality and he makes his move on Finucci. Then you extrapolate that. Connie's born, the spoiled Guinea princess. She's only born into a life of prosperity, and you know, it's sort of kind of, again, a good writer's way of doing it, but it does match into the way Italian families are born, and you can kind of see how all of the siblings sort of match onto, well, here's the Sonny, here's the Fredo, here's the Connie, here's the Michael. That the more children Italians have, the more you pretty much are just guaranteeing you have one of the Corleone children. But yeah, no, it's really good that way, and it kind of rewatching it this time, thinking about, the family only lasts this long. They treat Vito in the first one like he's this ancient man, like he's like if he sneezes wrong, he's gonna like have a stroke. He's 59 when he dies.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just like, oh, that's
not even that much older than De Niro is in those scenes. Like De Niro's 35 probably.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
40.
He's
maybe 35. Yeah.
Elderly certainly meant something a lot different back in the 1940s.
You know, you're talking about the family element of it as well. You know, what they do with Connie, what they do with, you know, all these characters and where they wind up. I think, I don't know, there is something to the idea of what he's clearly trying to do in this film with the, I hate to use an overused word now, but like the trauma that is being passed down to Michael's children in a way that was never really present for Vito's children, right? You know, Tom, you talked about like, well, he's out of work. Yeah, but Vito kept that stuff separate from his family life, right?
Yeah.
The only time you see the crime element intersecting with the family is the wife, Mama Corleone, coming to him and saying, like, help this lady out, right? That's it. Whereas, you know, Michael's children don't get that luxury, right? Michael's children, you know, his son's christening is being attended by a senator, right? Who can't pronounce their names.
An amazing little detail of just being Italian and just seeing non-Italians absolutely butcher our names.
Oh, yeah.
It's ever since I was a kid, I'm just like, you really can't say Lorenzo? It's that hard?
Oh.
Really, guys?
I don't know. I never had problems as Michael Natalie. It was never a problem for me. But you know, and then like think truly like the big thing that there is gunfire bursting through the windows in his home, in his bedroom where his wife sleeps, where his children come to play with their toys.
Children come to play with their toys. You know what's funny is that when he screams in that scene, he still sounds like young Al Pacino, but when they're searching the grounds and he goes, "Rocco, alive!" he becomes old Pacino in that one moment of the movie.
Rocco, alive! She's got a big ass!
She's got a great ass!
Hooah!
Yeah.
I'm not going to do an impression because I'm not Italian and I feel like I'd be stepping on toes. You know?
It's good. I appreciate that.
I mean, we don't know. Did someone in your family steal an Italian passport? Does that count?
Or were they Italian and stole another passport?
That's true.
Listen, all sorts of stuff going on.
That's true.
That's true, you know. Did they steal what was it? You said Latvian passport?
Yeah.
Would it be Latvian?
Yeah.
Are you Latvian?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations on Flo's Oscar.
Thank you so much.
It had to be nice.
I really
for you.
appreciate it.
It had to
Haven't
be a
watched
big
it
one
yet.
for you. You haven't?
One.
Okay.
No.
I mean, listen, I'm going to put this out there. Italians, we've maybe won a couple Oscars too. I'm mainly talking about
okay.
Roberto Benigni, but the other people have won as well.
Yeah, but then they stopped giving them out to them after Roberto Benigni, I think. They said, we don't want to ruin any more chairs.
You know what's funny is Roberto Benigni climbs on those chairs and like every Italian just went, yeah, we know him. We all know a guy like that. We absolutely.
I mean, here's my take: like more people should be doing that.
Listen, I'm fine with it.
Yeah,
great. Let's get Benigni back. I want him doing even more.
No.
Let's let him do. He's already done 2 Pinocchio movies. Let's let him do 7 more. I don't want him to stop until he's played every character in Pinocchio.
I say nay.
Everyone. In any event,
say nay.
Well, I mean, you know, I said Benigni. One of the things that is kind of interesting with the casting of this is in the original Godfather, there are so many actors that Coppola brought in from great works of Italian cinema, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in this one, when you're looking at the people that they bring in, it's Michael Vigazzo, who is a playwright, right? Like that was his calling card. Was he wrote the play A Hatful of Rain, and the other crazy thing. Do you guys know about Michael Vigazzo's writing career?
Mm-mm.
No.
Michael Vigazzo. So he wrote this very successful play, A Hatful of Rain. His other major writing credit is he wrote what many consider the best Elvis movie. The movie King Creole.
That Elvis was in, sure.
King Creole, Elvis's best acting performance.
Oh, wow.
And the movie that, like, it gets really dark because he kills a man in a bar fight and all. It's nuts. That's a Michael Vigazzo script. Michael Vigazzo is Frank Pentangeli. And then the one that is always crazy to see is in the role of Hyman Roth, Lee Strasberg.
He's
like
good.
Lee Strasberg. He's very good, but it's just like, it is crazy that it was like, apparently, you know, Coppola wanted Elia Kazan.
Yeah.
Elia Kazan said no. So Coppola was looking for like names to bring in for the role, and strangely, Elia Kazan did not want to name any names. So Al Pacino instead got him. Al Pacino
nailed him. You really got him.
Dig him up and piss on his bones, baby.
There we go. I thought. Listen, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend if Ewok called me up in the 1950s, I wouldn't be like, yeah, I know a couple.
The 1950s? What about 2025?
Oh, please. The way he texts me now, like the old Long Island man that he is, he wants to start a new Red Scare.
But but I do think if I get
these damn kids and their ideas about Communist Party policies, I hate them all so much. They want things to be better. Fuck them. Just get off my lawn.
But no, Lee Strasberg as Hyman Roth, who is, I mean, you can go through, you know, the many books on The Godfather, and they'll point out to you, well, you know, so and so is based on this. Don Fanucci was based on Ignazio Lupo, and this and that. I have to admit, Hyman Roth is the one that, like, anyone on the street, you could pull up like a 5-year-old child, show them this movie, and they go, so he's Meyer Lansky? He's Meyer Lansky. He's Meyer Lansky. There's not even a fucking attempt. There is no effort whatsoever.
You're giving 5-year-olds a lot of credit.
Well, to be fair, he does spend a lot of time with 5-year-olds. He does see exclusively children's movies at the theater.
Oh my god! Anyway. I can't argue. We just saw Lilo and Stitch last night.
Yeah.
So
you're leaving out one of the huge new additions to the cast.
Okay.
The military officer.
You're talking about Harry Dean Stanton?
No. The military officer, Tommy Lasorda.
Really?
According to the Wikipedia cast list, I've never heard this before.
The one.
Yes.
I mean, we're trusting Wikipedia on this, but
I think Wikipedia at this point is a fairly reliable source.
I thought you were going to say, because Harry Dean Stanton, we all clock as soon as he shows up.
Yes.
There's
a ton. There's
Roger Corman.
Yeah.
Uncle Junior.
Uncle Junior
shows up.
He's good.
He's good. He's good.
Yeah.
He looks older in this than he does in The Sopranos. It's very odd.
Yeah.
I just need to say, Dominic Chianese. and I don't know if this was always true, but it's just my memory of it, is that, do you guys remember, it felt like any time Dominic Chianese did an interview for the entire run of The Sopranos, all he wanted to do was talk about his singing. Do you remember this?
Oh, yeah.
I feel like it was any time, and you could feel the interviewer, like, remember what the publicist told them.
Yeah.
Because it'll just be like, and you've got a new album of standards out. And it was always that transition.
I went to a 20th anniversary retrospective panel at SVA in, I don't know what that was, 2020, I guess. It was probably January 2020. And he sang multiple songs at that panel.
It is that thing that I just remember, like, every time it would just always come up.
Yeah.
You know? But Dominic Chianese in it as Johnny Ola.
Still kicking. As of this recording, still around, still kicking.
Yeah.
He's like 95 or something like that.
You know, Patrick, I'm just going to put this out there. I feel like there's got to be at least one movie Dominic Chianese never did a commentary track for. I'm not telling you what to do.
Sure.
I'm just saying, if you
I would love it.
If you and Mr. Lynch are willing to take 15 minutes out of your podcast to plug an album of standards, I think you could get him.
He's in Dog Day Afternoon. I didn't know that.
Dominic Chianese, is he really?
And All the President's Men. What a run.
Oh, wow.
What a legend.
Yeah. But the one thing I will concede is that Tom and I have been friends for so long that sometimes I think we can, like, hear how the other person reacts to something in our heads. And the moment in this film where Fredo, they're at the club going to see Havana Superman, who was a real guy, by the way. That is a fully real person that existed. They are depicting a real historical person. But when Fredo's there at the club and just goes, "Oh yeah, Johnny Ola brought me here," in my head, I can hear Tom going, "Oh, you stupid fucking..." Like, even though he's watching this by himself with no one around.
For roughly the 100th time.
I know for a fucking fact, the minute he says that, Tom just goes, "Oh,
you fucking idiot."
Like, I can feel it in my bones every time I watch it. Oh.
It's kind of it's just a great way. It's a great moment. Like, it's one of those moments where you wish you could have been in the theater the opening weekend watching it with people as they realize, like, in real time with Michael, like, wait, did he just like, oh no, you fucking moron. Oh no, what's Michael gonna do? And just, Fredo, you stupid bitch.
Well, because one thing that this does really well, I think, that is kind of underrated, at least for us it's underrated because we've internalized so much of it, is that for a first-time viewer, it really does keep you on your toes in terms of somebody shoots up the house, Michael goes to Pantangeli and is like, "I know who betrayed me, it's Hyman Roth." And you maybe take that at face value, even though Pantangeli has certainly seemed like the more likely culprit. But then Pantangeli gets strangled, and they say Michael Corleone sends his regards. So you go, oh, it was a double cross. Michael was tricking him. And then we don't see Pantangeli for a while. And then Michael turns around to Roth and goes, "Well, who called out the hit on Pantangeli? It wasn't me." And again, as a first-time viewer, you're going, wait, hang on. So it wasn't, so it was. It does a really good job of sort of keeping the audience in suspense without ever making it like a mystery story,
This movie is not to say the first one holds your hand, but this one it is so trusting of you to pay attention and assume that the movie's going to give you the answers, but still not hold your hand with regards to the answers, because you could still watch this movie and be like, I know Hyman Roth is behind all of this, but I forget why. And then even when you get the why, it's couched in, is that really why he's doing this? Or is he just like kind of everyone else in this world, a greedy fuck that just puts money over honor? And you're like, is it really just about killing Mo Green? Is it as simple as that? And yeah, it's like all of that. You get thrown into this Senate hearing, and you're like, wait, we're in a Senate hearing now? What the fuck is this about? And then you find out, like, oh, it's Hyman Roth pulling the strings, doing this. All these guys are in his pocket. And you're like, okay, I guess okay, I guess there's a reason for this. And then Pantangeli comes out, and you go, oh. And Tom Hagen's like, Hyman Roth played this perfect. It's a movie, really. Like, as much as it's not like you're watching fucking Primer or something, this is a movie you do need to pay attention to, because it's not complicated, but it's not obvious with what's happening at every single moment unless you're paying attention, which is hard for a 3-hour movie that jumps back and forth between time. Maybe it is Primer.
It kind of leaves things ambiguous for you in some sense, because like I was reading about an earlier version of the script got into the details of why Pantangeli's brother showed up at the trial, right? And like gave his brother Vincenzo like an opportunity to tell his brother, don't break the code of silence or whatever. And it works so much better that the brother just shows up. There's no explanation. There's no context. And the only thing you get is later Frank talking to Tom Hagen going, yeah, it's my brother. That's how he is. Yeah. He just wanted to get home. Yeah. Like it's like, like it's nothing. These little things. Now, speaking of the Frank Pantangeli courtroom sequence, should we address that this scene had an impact on actual American history recently? Who here knows?
I don't think we should address it.
Okay. Well, fuck them. We won't address it. That's fine. Google it yourself.
Why did it have an impact on actual American history recently?
I'm going to read something I copied from an article. This character, Frank Pantangeli, made national news in January 25, 2019, because he was referenced in the federal indictment of President Donald Trump's longtime advisor, Roger Stone. Stone was arrested in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and charged with 7 counts through an indictment in Special Counsel Robert Mueller III's investigation into Russia interference in the 2016 presidential election. I do. Oh, man.
He was going to save us.
Nothing like writing out, hey, guys, you should do something, and then not making anyone do anything. Anyway. The indictment contained a reference to a character from The Godfather Part II who was intimidated into not testifying against a mafia boss. According to the indictment, Stone in late 2017 told an associate, identified as Person 2, that they should, quote, do a Frank Pantangeli before the House Intelligence Committee in order to avoid contradicting Stone's testimony.
That's very funny.
So now that's just...
Forever.
And that is unfortunately the one of the legacies of the Godfather films, is that as much as they are some of the greatest films ever made, and one of the rare examples when a critically acclaimed, artful film also becomes a popular film, a mega hit, the unfortunate side effect of that is a lot of dipshits just misunderstanding it completely. That is unfortunately one of the legacies of these films, is like you watch it and you're like, you guys are not supposed to want to be Michael. This film goes out of its way to go, he is alone. He is very alone.
He is a miserable fuck. Yeah,
he has killed his own brother. He is a bad man.
But look, I find him relatable because eventually he goes into a diabetic coma in the third one. And I feel like that's an inevitability for me.
That's true.
God bless him. He breaks new ground for Italians on screen in that he does not die of heart failure or being shot, which, quite frankly, interestingly enough,
it's not true. He does die in the third one of heart failure in his wheelchair at the end of them.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Because Coppola, you're right. I haven't watched the recut. You're right. I know the recut moves that to the end.
No, the recut takes it out.
The recut takes it out?
Okay. It just ends with him sitting alone in his wheelchair in Corleone, and then it just cuts to black, and it doesn't continue on like the theatrical cut where he keels over and dies.
So there's room for a part 4.
So the movie that he retitled The Godfather Coda, The Death of Michael Corleone, takes out the death of Michael Corleone.
It would be amazing if they did a 4th one.
Francis is truly operating on a level of screenwriter galaxy brain that few of us could ever hope to achieve.
He should have put Michael in Megalopolis.
He should have.
He's a senator now. I don't know.
Hey, why not? We got John Voight, Dustin Hoffman's in there for some reason.
Conference. Yeah.
Mike, did you see Megalopolis?
I still have not seen Megalopolis.
Oh my god.
Okay. Well, there's just Dustin Hoffman's in it, and then like at a certain point you realize you haven't seen him in 30 minutes, and then someone's just like, oh yeah, Dustin Hoffman died. He got crushed by falling debris, and then they cut to a scene of Dustin Hoffman going, "Oh no!" And it's just like, what the fuck is this?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I saw that movie in theaters. I don't even remember that because that's the 145th most crazy thing in that movie.
Well, obviously, the first thing everyone remembers is John Voight killing someone with his boner.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so here's the thing, and I think it's important, and this is how I'm going to make this transition in a way.
Great.
Which is, Patrick, you just acknowledged watching a movie, but not remembering a lot of what happens in it,
sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you can even watch a movie maybe 2 hours ago.
Yeah.
And already find yourself struggling to remember what occurred in that movie. Which leads me to say, we have another film we need to talk about.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Battle for Endor.
Winding down.
Of courage.
Winding down, as we always do, on the subject of The Godfather Part II. I'm going to ask this, as we always do. Tom, how do you think The Godfather Part II fared at the Academy Awards that year?
I think it did pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
You can't say a clean sweep because very famously Pacino did not win an acting award for this movie. But I know Best Picture, Best Director, Supporting Actor for De Niro, Screenplay, Cinematography. I don't know the exact numbers. What, like 7 or 8 awards?
So it won Best Picture. The other nominees for Best Picture that year were Chinatown, The Conversation, Lenny, and The Towering Inferno.
Hey, Lenny. Boo.
Oh, it's not your usual. Lenny has come up, Patrick, I think 3 or 4 times in this podcast, and somehow, not knowing he's done it before, every other time Tom has gone, Lenny, that movie fucking sucks. And he just like truly almost the exact same tone every time.
Amazing.
So Towering Inferno, it was nominated for Best Director, which it won. Nominated for Best Actor for Al Pacino, which it lost famously to Art Carney in Harry and Tonto.
From the Star Wars Holiday Special.
It won Best Supporting Actor for Robert De Niro. However, Michael V. Gazzo and Lee Strasberg were both nominated for Best Supporting Actor, which is another thing in Coppola's commentary. He's talking about Michael V. Gazzo, and he goes, Michael V. Gazzo, I think he got nominated for an Oscar for this performance. I don't remember. And I just want to say, yeah, you do, Francis. Fuck you. Yeah, you do. You remember that.
Why would he say that? What a crazy thing to say.
It was nominated. Here's one that throws me for a loop. It was nominated for Best Supporting Actress for Talia Shire, who is not in the movie all that much.
Yeah.
But interestingly enough, she loses to Ingrid Bergman for Murder on the Orient Express. So Supporting Actress was just a weird category that year. It was nominated for Best Adapted Screenplay, which it won. Best Dramatic Score, which it won.
Obviously,
It was not nominated for cinematography. You mentioned that time it was not nominated for cinematography. I'm gonna be honest. I'm a little okay with that because there are certain scenes that you can't see shit in.
Well, that's because you live like a bum.
It was nominated for Best Sound, which it lost to The Great Gatsby, another Robert Evans produced film. And it was nominated
scripted, right?
I believe so. Yes, or yes, yeah. And it was nominated for Best Art Direction, which it won. So that is The Godfather Part II.
Solid year.
However, we have more to discuss.
Fuck me.
So as opposed to just getting away, we're going to take a quick break, folks. And when we come back, we are going to be talking about an Ewok movie, I think.
And Mike will be wearing his full First Order regalia.
Son of a bitch.
In a galaxy far, far away, a brother and sister search for their missing parents.
How are we going to find them?
We will. Don't worry.
We are back. And if anybody is watching the video, they can see I have complied with yet another one of Patrick Cotnoir's requests. Because here's what happened. People, I think a year or two ago, before we actually recorded an episode, we were sitting down to do it, and Patrick goes, "Do you guys even still like doing this bit? Like, do you guys even still enjoy this?" And I said, "Patrick, we don't have a choice because people like it when we do this. It's something that listeners have cited frequently, and I'm also going to be 100% real with you. We're not in the kind of position where we could hemorrhage those listeners by stopping to do this.
I hold a lot of power.
It's
so much power that I'm eating a salad while we're doing this podcast now.
Yes, Patrick is doing a thing on mic that not only should you not do, he has managed to find one of the things you should not do on mic that Tom has yet to do on this show.
Should I put it away?
Really?
Tom's never eaten on mic. We did have to tell Tom, some of the things you are doing on camera, you can't keep doing because we'll get demonetized by YouTube.
Oh, the smoking and the drinking?
Yeah.
You should blur it out.
No, the one is we had to give Tom the rule. Look, I understand I only have so much control. I can't tell Tom, don't zone out in the middle of a show because you're watching baseball. Mm-hmm. But at the very least, don't do it while you yourself are talking.
I mean,
which
listen.
has happened more than once.
Listen, sometimes I might be making a good point, but Aaron Judge is making a better hit. What can I tell you?
All right, let's talk about this damn movie.
Yeah. So we are here to talk about what, Patrick?
Ewok's Battle for Endor.
Incorrect!
Which is what I watched last night.
So, for anybody who is not up to date with this, last time Patrick told us to watch Battle for Endor, but instead he himself watched Ewok Caravan of Courage.
A true mistake.
So,
a true mistake.
This time he said, we'll do Caravan of Courage.
Either choice is a mistake.
But I'll say this. This one is sort of on you guys.
I did say to Patrick, I was talking to Patrick about Battle of Endor.
This is Mike's fault.
The email that came in, the
That's
calendar invite, says Ewok's Battle for Endor.
You're right.
I have nothing to do with that.
Right.
I was the one that had to tell him, you made a mistake, buddy.
Yeah.
And I watched the correct one. And you never changed the invite.
Yeah. So I guess this is just gonna be kind of a referendum on the Ewok movies as a whole, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Because
referendum.
Yeah, we need to discuss them. We need to, just kind of assess the franchise as a whole, the Ewok movie franchise.
I mostly want to talk to Tom about this because, Mike, I feel like I get it. You know what I mean? I get what you're gonna say. It's fine. Tom, I'm mostly concerned about you. Yeah. Well, I'm more concerned about next year's show, but I'm concerned about this one. Tom, what was your overall vibe on this movie? I do want to remind you, I do have a 7-foot tall Italian poster of this movie in my apartment, framed and linen backed.
I mean, that's fine. That's cool. I'll be honest, didn't make me as annoyed and mad as Battle for Endor.
Wow.
Mainly because that little bastard Teak wasn't in it.
I'm happy you remember his name, though.
I'll never forget his name. He haunts my dreams.
Wow. But now, Caravan of Courage, I mean, you get a lot more annoying stuff, I think, than you do in the second movie.
I think it's mainly, it was easier to zone out watching this movie.
Sure. It's more boring than the second one. The second one,
it's incredibly boring, and you could just zone out for like 5-10 minute chunks and be like, did I miss anything? And you go, oh no, they're just still wandering around being where are my parents? And you go, I don't know, man, somewhere. And then, oh look, there's a big monster guy. And then that's the end. I'm like, this is very uneventful for 93 minutes.
So overall, you're happy you watched it?
I mean, I'm thrilled. It was certainly a better choice than getting blackout drunk and wandering around my hometown.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, not the most healthy calories in my cinematic diet, but certainly not as frustrating as Battle for Endor, because ooh boy, did that movie get under my skin. Mainly, and I'm gonna be honest, mainly because of Teak.
Do you have a favorite character?
Oh no, there's characters in this.
Okay.
I guess if I had to pick, it would be the little girl that looks like the shrunken down version of the guy who runs the outpost in the Road Warrior.
Her name is Sindel Tawani.
Sindel Tuani.
Did you
Maybe
like
the most.
her brother?
Oh no, absolutely not.
Okay.
Sindel is maybe the most 80s child to have ever been filmed in the 80s, with that haircut and that headband and just that entire attire. Oh yeah, a lot of stuff. Also, because of my disease-addled brain, when their parents showed up and I saw the mother, I was like, oh hey, that's the mom from the Mark Wahlberg classic Four Brothers.
Oh, it's also Eloise Hawking from Lost.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Wow.
Well,
and then I don't know. I mean, it really is just one of those things where you have to think like, all right, we get it. TV and stuff wasn't getting the money it's getting now, but like, what were you guys thinking?
These got theatrical released in Europe though.
I mean, listen, the Europeans need to pay every now and then. They need to learn their place.
Yeah.
I get it.
If someone came to you and said, Tom, we want you to make an Ewok duology, what is your pitch for those movies?
Well, I already said last year, my version of Battle for Endor was the Battle of Algiers, but with Ewoks. So if I had to think of this one, this one's harder because it really is just 90 minutes of nothing.
Yeah.
I guess just lean into like the dark crystal of it all.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And just get like some, not even Bowie or a Bowie-esque character, just get some, get like the lead singer of Zebra. To just be haunting children in the forests of Endor. And there's weird sexual energy.
Sure. In the second one, you get the giant from Twin Peaks and you get the witch lady. And you get a bunch of guys in masks, which I feel like this movie is severely lacking. This movie that I want to remind you, I did not watch for this.
I feel like you guys are being, I'm sorry, if I may cut in, I feel like you guys are being very rude to Burl Ives and his fabulous voiceover.
That was crazy. I was literally like, am I having a stroke right now? Is that Burl Ives? And he kept talking like, yeah, that's fucking Burl. Does he even know the words that he's saying?
I mean, Mike, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe that got added towards the end because they were like, we need something to hold this movie together because it needs narration.
Because they made the same mistake with it that they make with the holiday special.
Yeah.
Which is trying to anchor these movies in characters who do not speak.
But in the second movie, they do speak English.
Yes, they do, because they learned.
That out. Yeah.
You have these characters who do not speak. And also, the thing that I find funny about the Burl Ives voiceover is Burl Ives has to speak exclusively in Star Wars jargon, right? So they have him going like, and the Ewoks use their Star Cruiser, and yet the characters in the film itself abandon Star Wars jargon and just go, that's a horse. It's just...
I forget. It might have been Matt Singer's Letterboxd review where it's like, they don't even attempt to make it look like Star Wars. It literally just looks like they filmed on Skywalker Ranch. It's like, here's a horse. Yeah. Here's a horse. Here's a chicken. Here's a goat.
Ferret.
Yeah. Just here's things that are on George Lucas's property.
Yeah.
And you're just like, I guess we're just in San Francisco and not a galaxy far, far away. It really is just like, again, I know the ecosystem of this kind of shit back then was so different, and the idea of like expanding the universe into television stuff was so far out there, and they couldn't put that much money into it. But you go, fuck, why did you even try if it was going to come out like this? Like, what was even the purpose other than it's a Star Wars thing, but with the least amount of effort possible? And no real ties to the grand mythology other than, you liked the teddy bear guys, right? Well, does it tie into what the teddy bear guys do in Return of the Jedi? Absolutely not. And it's just like, oh, I mean, okay, as much as people and us, I'm sure, could bitch about the Disney Plus output of shows and whatnot, you at least go like, I get where you're coming from with this TV show. Really, what were you guys thinking with the Ewok stuff? It's so mind-bogglingly half-assed that you just have to be like, is George trying to kill Star Wars? Like, is that possible?
I mean, look, I think there is a world where that may be a possibility because he wanted to do other stuff. I don't think that that's totally outside the realm of probability. I mean, the second movie, they fully kill her family immediately.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, it's like as the credits are rolling. It's like Bambi.
Yes. And it's very soon after George's divorce, and I think that is very telling in that. But I do think there is a world where he's like, I'm not going to try that much on this because I want to be done with this stuff. You know?
I mean, I don't know. You guys are being pretty... I mean, I can tell you right now, you guys weren't moved when Chukka-Truck dies?
Who?
You didn't feel... Chukka-Truck?
Are you insulting me in like Slavic?
Chukka-Truck, an actor I've seen multiple times in Los Angeles, just in the wild. And I go, hey, that's Kevin Thompson every time.
Until you said Kevin Thompson, your statement implied in Los Angeles you've just seen Chukka-Truck.
I said an actor.
Walking around.
I guess I said Chukka-Truck, an actor.
It just implies they have solely been so Chukka-Truck dies in a brave sacrifice.
Tom, come back to us. We're losing you, Tom.
I literally I don't know what he's talking about.
Chukka-Truck, the other Ewok.
You know, it's like we were talking about the way that Andor moves some people. I'm going to tell you right now, watching Chukka-Truck sacrifice himself to defeat Gorax has really changed how I'm going to approach this current administration. Let me tell you, I have a Medium article, a Substack cooking about how Chukka-Truck is representative of Trotsky, and people are going to love it. Let me tell you.
Well, listen, I can guarantee with that outfit you got on and your, generally fucking Germanic aesthetic, and your ever-growing Long Island dad views of the young kids and their dumb progressive ideas. I'm sure you're happy when the Viet Cong teddy bears get fucking wiped off the face of the earth.
Say his name, Chukka-Truck, Tom.
Chukka-Truck.
Say his name.
Chukka-Truck. Honestly, that sounds like the next member of the bloodline. Jey Uso drops the belt to Chukka-Truck.
Mike,
another cousin of The Rock.
Mike, you did speak earlier about potentially having a child down the line.
Yeah.
Is there a world?
No,
Patrick,
there is not.
Patrick, you do not. You get to have sway over this show. It does not extend beyond this show.
I'll reach out to the significant other. I'll see what happens.
She is too Russian.
Patrick, you heard about how she talks about you already.
Uh-huh.
So let's see how that goes.
She is too Russian to deal in bits.
Are you telling me that Chukka-Truck does not sound like an Eastern European name?
Let me be 100% clear. We have
Eastern
had conversations.
European or Samoan.
We have had conversations where she said, I'm not sure John might be a hard name to explain to my family. I'm like, I don't think Chukka-Truck and Gorax are going to land if we're already having
then again, you know what? This actually might be a good thing. You start dropping these names in, you start making the other names look better.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
I think there's a world where you could name a daughter Sindel.
Okay. What I will say is
that
is more palatable, yes.
In the abstract, it is not impossible. I'm not going to name a son Mace, however, because now that carries a different implication, you know?
Sure. But you just say it's after Tawani, it's not after Windu.
That'll track with people. That'll really work. That's what he'll tell the kids on the playground so they don't beat him up. It's after Tuati. Which, by the way, I want to say, and I said this to somebody else off mic, Patrick, but I have a pet theory about why you continue to do this bit on this show.
Yeah.
Because just like you said, you said to me at the start of this, you're like, Mike, I don't need to hear what you think. I want to hear Tom. I want to hear what Tom thinks.
Yeah.
My theory, if I may, is it possible that at some point in your childhood, you had like a middle school bully who looked like Tom, and this is your way to kind of like get back at them because you're like, I have a captive audience. I can make this loud metalhead just suffer for like an hour.
I've never
every
thought
year.
about it. I mean, part of it is definitely making Tom do this, and I can't wait for you to hear what next year is.
Because
I just like the idea that Patrick in middle school had to deal with somebody that had this beard.
Had a full Scott Ian beard. It was just a 35-year-old who just showed up.
Just Steve Buscemi in 30 Rock.
It just shows, hey, you in the Muppet shirt. Fuck you. And Patrick's like, someday, I am going to make you watch Battle for Endor.
He's going to play Bounty Hunter someday. A very glitchy, up-resed version of Bounty Hunter.
PS2 port on the PS5 store. Where he's just like, oh, things are missing in translation here.
It is the power that Patrick has. It's so funny because, again, if I say, hey, Tom, let's do this thing. This past weekend, I went, Tom, I have tickets to a Broadway show. Do you want to come? And he went, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
But for some reason, Patrick can be like, here's what you're going to have to do, Tom. No matter how unpleasant, he just goes, God damn it.
Yeah.
Don't act like there's not a difference. I'm doing it for this goddamn show you've hoodwinked me into for the last 5 years.
I love that you can chart which movies Patrick's made Tom watch because his Letterboxd reviews always end with the sentiment, maybe I should stop doing this podcast.
That's very funny.
Anyways,
good movie, good duology.
What a great double feature. Honestly, if we could let's try to get Quentin to get this going at the New Bev.
You know what the thing is?
It doesn't feel crazy that he would play the Ewok movies at the New Bev.
He 110% has film prints of those movies.
Totally.
Without question.
With full sincerity, not impossible that on some episode of his podcast that he did with Roger Avery, that he's just going, Chuck-a-Truck.
You know what's really good? Chuck-a-Truck. Listen,
Chuck-a-Truck. Nowadays they're doing all these movies about what if we see how they build up to Rogue One. And I gotta say, back when Star Wars was really cool was when we just had random Ewok episodes. Just random Ewok episodes. And, it was really cool because it meant nothing. It was just a cool little adventure.
I'm okay with letting this just be a solid 15 minutes of Patrick and Tom both doing their Tarantino impressions. I think that's fine. Mm-hmm. I'm okay with that, just filling airtime.
Yeah.
This is, by the way, by far the least we've had to say about any of these Star Wars ephemera you've given us to do.
I mean, is there anything else you want to say?
I mean,
when he hadn't watched the aforementioned movie,
Okay, I will say, I have the vaguest memory of watching this as a child.
Me too.
Right?
Yeah.
I have the vaguest memory of watching this as a child, and I think the thing that I found odd was that it seemed like the kind of thing that before we got the prequels, that it seemed I was like, I talk about this. Tom, I hope you don't mind if I'm going to sell out College U a little bit here, right? I will.
Wow.
But
College Tom loved the Ewok movies, and they grew up, and now he's cranky.
No, but like the one thing was Tom and another friend of ours in college.
And I hate fucking Ewoks, man.
Tom and another friend of ours in college went to bat for Superman Returns really fucking hard.
Mm-hmm.
And then Man of Steel came out, which Tom still goes to bat for quite strongly. And after Man of Steel came out, Tom kind of was much more harsh on Superman Returns as a movie. And we talked about it once, and Tom was like, yeah, I mean, listen, it was the only Superman I had for like 10 years.
Yeah.
I had to enjoy it. And then once I got a Superman I liked a lot more, I didn't need this anymore. And I do think the Ewok, you remember this, right, Tom? You'll cop to this, right?
Yes, yeah.
I think for Star Wars fans, I remember being in comic book stores and all that, the Ewok movies were that. Where it was like post Return of the Jedi, these Ewok movies existed. And pre-prequels, for as much as people pretend, nobody enjoyed the prequels now, pre-prequels, there were a lot of people who were holding on to the Ewok movies just in the sense of like, it's more Star Wars. And then once we had the prequels, they could finally go, I don't need these Ewok movies anymore.
Well, you kind of get it. I can kind of honestly get it. It's, the expectations are lowered because they are TV projects, but it's still Star Wars, so you can like lower your expectations and still get a little bit of the Star Wars stuff while the movies are done. Are we ever going to get movies again? Is it just going to be the comic books and the extended universe novels or whatever? So I can get why in the 80s, if you were younger, or in the 90s and you're younger and you've older brothers or whatever show it to you before the prequels were even announced, you can go like, all right, this is Star Wars stuff. It's fine. It's like when you're a comic book fan and you go like, all right, this X-Men book isn't really working for me, but it's the X-Men. So I kind of just have to deal with it. But yeah, once
did anybody else also immediately jump to like Mojo World when Tom said that? Nobody remembers Mojo World?
No.
That was like when X-Men was at its zenith of overexposed. Because Tom's saying X-Men comics with fucking, oh my god, I'm forgetting his name now. Oh my god, the guy whose like mutant power was just being very lucky. Do you remember this guy where he had like warp reality? I'm forgetting his name.
There's a girl.
There's
Domino.
There's Domino, but there was also, I'm forgetting his name now.
It's not Arcade, right?
No, not Arcade. It was he got his own solo comic for a while.
Well, they all fucking did.
Hang on.
The world is lousy with X-Men spin-off comics.
You know who also got his own solo comic, which I think it makes sense?
Who's that?
Han,
like Han Solo?
Yeah, he got his own solo comic. They did an adaptation of the movie.
And with that, folks, I think that...
I'm trying to remember this guy's fucking name, and I don't remember it.
Listen, there's 1,000 X-Men. It's going to be impossible.
Long Shot. Long Shot.
Long
genetically engineered life form from another dimension referred to as the Wild Ways, Mojoverse, or Mojo World.
What if he was related to Longshanks?
Who? What?
What if he was related to Longshanks from Braveheart?
You can't... You can't be like, you fucks remember Chuck a Truck, and then pull out the name of any character from Braveheart that wasn't William Wallace.
I didn't say you fucks. That. I said I don't remember. I wasn't putting it on you. I was putting it on me for not being able to pay attention to this goddamn movie.
Anyway, so next year will be on 1994.
Okay, so remember, folks, what's going to happen is Patrick is going to first reveal the movie he's coming on for, which we will beep out so you won't know.
Yeah.
You won't know until you open your podcast feed and go, I've been so looking forward to the Godfather Part II.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
You won't know until then, but we will reveal to you what he's making us do in addition to it. So go ahead, Patrick. Tell us what's on the docket. What are we doing, Patrick?
So I think we're going to watch a favorite movie of mine. From 1992, Brad Pitt, Cool World. Is that not the movie that's on this list?
Oh boy. Patrick, I can't wait for you to find out what you just agreed to watch.
I don't want to I'm not watching the Cool World. I don't know what that is. We're going to watch And also, we're going to read hey, Tom, have you seen Empire Strikes Back?
Yeah, I think so.
Tom, did you see Return of the Jedi?
Rings a bell, yeah.
Do you ever wonder like what happens in between those two movies?
Oh,
keeps me up at night.
we are going to read from 1996,
Oh,
written by a man who is not the lead singer of Journey, Steve Perry, Shadows of the Empire, and we're going to listen to the soundtrack.
We're doing a novel now?
Uh-huh.
Oh my god. Alright, now I guess I gotta look this up on Amazon. Son of a bitch.
And we're going to talk about too.
Alright, Shadows of the Empire by Steve Perry, correct?
Yep.
Alright, it's actually not that expensive, so that's fine.
There are actual tears in my eyes. That caught me so off guard.
Mm-hmm.
I was so ill prepared. When you said between Empire, I'm like, I did anticipate Shadows of the Empire, but I really thought you were going to go, the N64 game or something. But no, we're doing a whole novel.
I mean, here's the thing. You're lucky because I was going to go N64 game, comics, soundtrack, book. Doing the whole thing. I cut it back a little bit. Soundtrack, I believe, is on Spotify.
Of course it is.
And then there's the novel.
Now, what I want to point out here,
Prince Seizure.
to tie it back to what we talked about at the start, what's great about this is Patrick always makes a big declaration at the end of these episodes, which he forgets about at the start of the next, which means I'm going to be getting a text about 2 days before we record next year's episode of Patrick.
Can I tell you
just
something?
Going, can I read a whole novel in a night?
I agreed to do a podcast this upcoming Sunday where I would read the novelization of League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, and I fully pushed it because I said there's no world where I get to read that quickly.
So you, in recent memory, forgot about doing a book episode and yet volunteered yourself just now through nothing but your own choice.
Can I tell you
another
why?
book episode? Yeah.
I found the book in my closet and I said, I wonder if that holds up. And then I watched a video on YouTube that popped up on my main screen about the history of it. And now I'm like, well, it's time to revisit it, even if it's 2026 when that happens.
Yeah, so now you found it in your closet. Now you just have to not lose it again for a year.
Yeah.
A year.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. I hope everyone reads along with us. We should record an audiobook. Each of us reads a chapter out loud. It's not a terrible idea, guys.
I mean, hey, why not?
Okay, he agreed. He agreed.
God. Oh, God. Oh, boy.
Yes!
Patrick, thank you so much for joining us for our annual tradition. Welcome to the Five Timers Club of
Thank you so much.
You're Missing Out. This was such a treat to get to do. Now, please do your plugs. Tell folks what to check out. You are doing a million things. You are doing podcasts. You are doing staged readings, one of which went viral recently. I'm sure that must have felt fun.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Clip of that went all over. So
yeah. Let's see. Let's start. We'll start with the George Lucas Talk Show. Happens intermittently. It's all on YouTube. It's a show I do with Connor Ratliff and Griffin Newman. Hosts a talk show. Connor hosts it as George Lucas. We interview real guests as themselves. If you've never seen it, we just did an episode with Seth Rogen, John Hamm, and Rich Sommer. That's really good, and that's on YouTube. I recommend checking that one out. I've been doing these live stage readings of the Star Wars scripts. Look, once you're a Star Wars guy, everyone makes you a Star Wars guy. We've been doing live readings of the Star Wars scripts at Dynasty Typewriter in Los Angeles. When will this go out? Do you know?
Sometime in, I'm going to say July.
Okay. I think August.
Say?
I want to say it's August 16th. We will be doing Return of the Jedi, or because we've been following the Muppet movie naming conventions for these. So this one will be, it's a Yubby Nubby Ewok Murder Party, which is It's a Very Merry Muppet Christmas version of it. I think that's August 16th. You can get live stream tickets. It'll probably be sold out by that point. For in-person, you can come to AskCat at UCB every Sunday. I produce that show in Los Angeles or live stream it from home. You can listen to Hey, That's Me, a commentary podcast. Anywhere you listen to podcasts. Soon
to feature Dominic Chianese, right?
Yes, of course. You can listen to any podcast on the Exactly Right Podcast Network. I book all of those podcasts. I think that's probably it, right? Follow me on Instagram at Cotnoir, Cotnoir.
You worked so hard to get so many Twitter followers, and then it all just crumbled.
It's a real
bummer. You
worked
so hard.
It's a genuine bummer.
But
oh well.
Listen, if you follow Patrick on socials, maybe he'll post about an auction, and maybe you can spend too much money on a robe.
That's true. I can't wait to talk to you boys about Dash Rendar.
Our favorite. Love Dash
Patrick,
Rendar.
thank you so much for joining us. We look forward. Well, we're gonna have you back.
I hope so.
I was gonna say we look forward, but now we got to read a whole ass book.
Let's be real.
We got to read a whole book and then talk about the movie we beeped out.
A whole book with no Han Solo.
A whole book with no Han Solo. But I'm going to say it.
Chewbacca gets a haircut in it.
Does he get a fade?
It's like shaved on the sides, I believe.
Oh, he gets the young boys. Okay.
Yeah.
But everybody else, stick around. We'll be right back with our picks for the National Film Registry.
The National Film Registry isn't some fixed object, frozen in time. It's always growing, adding new titles every year. These annual selections are made by the National Film Preservation Board, with members like Martin Scorsese, Alfre Woodard, and Leonard Maltin, and representatives from organizations like the Academy, the DGA, and the AFI coming together to debate and decide. But they don't just pull titles out of thin air. They pull from the public, people like you and us, who can submit their nominations for the registry in a form on the Library of Congress's website. What we do, at the end of each episode, is have Mike and Tom pick films not yet in the registry that they feel should be, inspired by that day's topic. At the end of each season, those films will be formally submitted to the National Film Registry for consideration, on behalf of You're Missing Out. Here are today's picks.
Alrighty, so with this one, a lot of avenues you can go down. I decided to go with the idea of the sequel that bests, or at least equals, the original. Not many of those, to be honest, and some of them are a bit iffy on the idea of being a sequel. You know, you could go with something like a Dawn of the Dead, even though that's not necessarily a sequel, more like just an additional entry into a franchise. All right. But I did find one that I think is the perfect example for this episode, for The Godfather Part II, because it is a sequel that is a more ambitious endeavor. It deepens the characters, it deepens the world, the mythology that's at play. It gives you everything you want from this franchise and heightens it. It's almost the perfect encapsulation of the franchise in a way that you kind of can't come back from, and any further installments would be chasing. It's iconic, game-changing, one of the best movies of its era. Yeah, there's not really much other preamble that I got to do for this one. I think you guys all know where I'm going. I'm going with Evil Dead 2. It's the probably best horror sequel of all time. If not, it's up there. You get so much more in depth with Ash. He becomes such a truly iconic character for the ages. Shakespeare wept when he saw in the afterlife he didn't get to write Ash. Yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to go something fucking silly with this one because it's The Godfather 2. I just... Let's lighten things up a bit. Ash fights the Deadites. He ends up back in time. So there's a time travel element to this one as well. One of those ones that kind of crazy that Evil Dead 2 is not in the registry, mainly because of Sam Raimi and its place of horror history. But yeah, Evil Dead 2, going simple and stupid, much like the movie itself.
So I went a little abstract with this one in a way. You might not see the connection right away, but I was thinking about part of what's going on in The Godfather Part 2 is the story of the dissolution of the family. Not just the Corleone family, but the end of the golden age of the mafia, right? And that golden age and that sort of system that existed comes apart with a move west, right? The first Godfather, we're in New York, and it's all New York, and the five families in New York, and this system that allowed this all to thrive. And then we move out. The first move is to Vegas. And then, we're in Lake Tahoe and we're in Cuba and we're in all of these places. But particularly, I think what Vegas represents in the Godfather trilogy and in the story is this idea of it's where any sense of idealism goes to die, right? It's that Vegas is pure vice. Vegas is a place that exposes man at his most base. And when the mob is in New York, they can pretend to be dignified. They can pretend to be men's in suits. But Vegas, that is where all of that comes apart. It's all artifice. It all feels false. It all feels silly to try and pretend to be human. And that's not just true of the mob. Similarly, as demonstrated in this film, a long-awaited adaptation of a great work of literature, that's also true of every other movement. That's true of the hippie movement. That's true of any kind of idealism. And that's why, for me, when I'm watching The Godfather Part II, there is a part of me that keeps jumping to a very different kind of film, which is Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. I think so often that moment where Pantangeli is saying, what happened to the old days of the Corleone family? Things used to be good. The times are changing. Everything, it's all falling apart. It's becoming corporate. It's becoming, glad-handing men in suits. And I think about that monologue that Hunter Thompson gives about the high watermark of the 60s. And you can see, if you look, where the wave crashed. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas is kind of a reflection of the Vegas that we see in The Godfather 2. It's a couple decades later, but it's still this thing of it's a testament to man's hubris in a way. No matter who goes there, they think they can control it. They think that they can make something civilized out of it. And you just can't. It's this desert hell, and your worst instincts are going to come out there. So I think the portrait of America that Francis Ford Coppola is trying to depict in The Godfather 2 is not dissimilar, though through a very different lens, than the portrait of America that Hunter Thompson and, in effect, Terry Gilliam try and depict in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. They are both reflections of this dark side of the American dream and our inability to control the worst parts of humanity. So my pick is from 1998, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
My movie, I thought of it when I was thinking of The Godfather for a lot of the same reasons that Tom was thinking of it, because this movie, it's an adaptation of a previous work, and a lot of the same actors come back from the last time, but you bring in a lot of new people. Some of the people who come back, they're obviously making more money because this is on a different scale than they were used to. It's a movie that has a sequel that came out years later that people maybe didn't respond to as well, but it has its own fans, and it's an adaptation. It's new, it's fresh, but you're also getting the same characters coming back that you love. And it features a villain performance from one of the great actors, of our time. You get Lee Strasberg in Godfather Part II, and this one you get Val Kilmer, of course, because I'm talking about 2010's MacGruber. And I think that MacGruber deserves a place in the canon. I think it brings a lot to the table, and I think that it should really hold a spot in American history that deserves some respect. And that's my take on MacGruber.
Next week,
Josh Shepard is here with us to talk about the March of Time inside Nazi Germany.
That it's basically a piece of successful propaganda that is appearing as news. And at the same time, it feels like it could have gone much further, denouncing the Nazis, right? Which is what gives it kind of the veneer of journalism. And in a way, it is journalism.
You're Missing Out is a production of Neon Night Media. It's hosted by Mike Natale and Tom Lorenzo. The show is produced by Kyle Lampar and edited by Mike Natale and Kyle Lampar. More information about our hosts and guests are in the show notes. Thank you to Amanda Rush for our social media, and all of you for checking us out.
If you're listening right now or want to take the show on the go, every episode is available as an audio podcast. Follow You're Missing Out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. If you like what you hear, please leave a review and a rating. It helps folks find the show.
Want to watch the show or watch some of the films along with us? Great, that's why we're doing this. Don't leave us alone out here. Check out our YouTube channel. We've got video versions of every episode, uploads of some of the National Film Registry titles we're discussing, commentary tracks, and live streams. And once a month, I'll be uploading some content that's exclusive to the YouTube channel. So be sure to click subscribe and hit that little bell to be notified as soon as new stuff goes up. Because, let's be fucking real, I ain't sticking to a goddamn schedule.
So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
And we'll see you next time.
And you'll see us next time. Because we don't watch you, you're watching us.